Evening, welcome to the Derby debrief from RamsTV, live from Pride Park Stadium. I'm Bradley with former Derby skipper Shaun Barker alongside, here to react to Derby's draw with MK Dons this afternoon. The Rams losing a bit of ground in the playoff race. They absolutely dominated the first half, went in front through David McGoldrick's 18th league goal of the season. But they couldn't find that second goal, conceded an equaliser after the break, and despite doing their utmost, could not find the winner. Reaction to come from the goal scorer and from head coach Paul Warne as well. We'll start with a word or two from Box. As always, goes down as a frustrating one, I think. Yep,
I think it's one that the manager will be really disappointed with. Over the course of the game, probably had enough chances to win 2 or 3 games. We were dominant in the first 45 minutes. 3 or 4 glorious chances.
When you look at it there, the number of shots that Derby had.
Yeah, it's when you go 1-0 up and you're that dominant, you know the second goal is so important just to give you a little bit of a breathing space. We didn't take it. I thought in the second half, the start of the second half was very flat in the stands, on the pitch. You just felt that something was coming, and then all of a sudden the game opened up for a strange 5 minutes or so. They punished us, and we just didn't have enough to take all 3 points. And McGoldrick had a chance, 5 minutes into added time. There was a couple of chances, Jason Knight, just before the end of the game. You have to take those opportunities, and the manager will be extremely disappointed we haven't.
It leaves Derby outside the top 6 still on goal difference alone. Bolton dropped points as well today, but they do have a game in hand. We'll show you all the results from this Easter Monday and the table in full before we go. More to come from Shaun. First, let's get some reaction from the head coach, Paul Warne.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say it's sort of the microcosm of our season. Like, unplayable in parts, outstanding at parts, pacey, creative at parts. We just don't take our chances. We just aren't deadly enough, or whatever the word is, in the final third. And like the same with the Shrewsbury game. At Shrewsbury at home, we were 2-0 up, cruising. They came out second half, rattled us a bit. But today I thought we were really on top, virtually from start to finish. Made changes to the team. Obviously played 2 games in 3 days, just freshened it up, because I just felt like we were still all at it, but we just lacked a little bit of energy. So I thought the subs came on, had a really positive effect, and I still always fancied us to get the second goal. I appreciate we were a little bit gung-ho a couple of times in the second half, which weren't great, but generally speaking, we were the team in the ascendancy. We nearly had 30 attempts at goal, and I just think that is what's been missing from our play. Some teams come here, and we've played teams at times where they've had 3 attempts at goal, scored 2, and you're like, oh, so we just, that's what's disappointing. We just didn't have that, can't say I didn't have the rub of the green, because our first goal was a little bit fortuitous, and I feel for the lads. I do. I'm devastated for them. We spoke to them at half time, said no 2 halves are the same. They'll come at us, and obviously they created they went in our box a couple of times second half, but it's disappointing that every time something goes wrong, it goes catastrophically wrong. So the lads are that close to perfection, but we're that close to defeat on a weekly basis. So, so I'm devastated for the dressing room. They're obviously heartbroken. And then we've just got to see what character we've got in the dressing room. We've got 5 games left, and we've got to try and pick up as many points as we can in them 5 games to give ourselves a chance. Like, we go to Bristol Rovers next. If we were fortunate enough to win, then we could be right back in the hunt. But yeah, I speak to you now, obviously a little bit heartbroken. I don't think our lads deserved a draw. I thought our play deserved a win, but wasn't to be.
First half in particular felt like chance after chance after chance. It seemed like you were sort of back to your normal selves. Are you going to point to that performance, if not the finishing, and say, this is what you're capable of?
Yeah, I mean, we're all about showing them the positive stuff. There was a couple of times when we released a wide centre-half, second half was a bit hair and scaring. But I thought first half we had complete control. Like, Corey was really good. Sitting, kept the ball moving really well, getting out to Nat and Tom, and I thought we were a real force. And then, second half, we weren't as coherent. Obviously, they made changes. They're going to come out and have to bring something to the party, which they did. And we got in some really good areas, but we just, like I said, we just missed that a little bit, and it's sad because, you know, I can't knock the lads' effort. If I look at the GPS data and I look at, you know, watch the game back, there wasn't a much wrong. But unfortunately, the second goal is crucial. The same with the Forest Green game last week. I think if we'd have got a second goal early on, we would have gone on handsome. But and that, you know, sometimes football's technical, tactical, you know, shapes and all this sort of thing, and it's literally a very simple game. And today, unfortunately for us, we didn't get the goals that our play deserved. So we can leave the place heartbroken, but positive on the performances, and then we just have to, you know, recreate that again for the weekend.
A very young back three today, 19-year-old, 21-year-old, 20-year-old. How did you feel about how they performed?
Yeah, excellent. Like I said, a couple of moments in the second half where we released the press against their 10, where we couldn't get close enough and they popped it around us, but generally really well. And like, they could have good futures at the club. Like, you know, Roons has done really well when he's played. Cash has played a significant part this year, and Aidan's played in a couple of positions. So I was really pleased with them. We knew they had a threat up top with their pace, and I think you could see that as the game went on and the game got more stretched. But generally they were really good, and we haven't not won the game because of them three. Them three will be better players for playing part in the game. But we just, unfortunately, we just didn't take our chances. And there were some really good performances, the ones I was really pleased with throughout the team. I thought that Tom looked really good at times. Nat was virtually unplayable. So there was really positives. It's just the disappointment that I'm speaking to you that we've managed to concede and throw away 2 points. And that's sort of how it feels at the moment, a little bit sore.
Well, that's the Derby head coach, Paul Warne. I think heartbroken sums it up pretty well, Shaun. Nothing all that wrong with the performance. It was just the finishing that was Derby's issue today, and some irony in that, yes, the goal was a set piece, but a little bit scrappy. But when you look through the number of opportunities that Derby had, I mean, they will be so frustrated when they see the take back, won't they?
They will. And in reality, part of your performances is killing teams off, and we didn't do it. I think we're up in Gantry. We know the importance of the second goal. We know how kind of little you can make in terms of mistakes and bad decisions when it's at 1-0. And you felt kind of your gut wrench when that goal goes in, because then you're wondering whether or not we've got enough to get ourselves back ahead. And it wasn't to be. And part of your performance is how you go about your business. I thought we were excellent in terms of landing on second balls. I thought we dominated the midfield. I thought we showed a real character in the first 60 minutes of the game, especially in the first 45. We had chances, we were threatening, we just didn't have that killer touch. And at moments like that, in games like that, where a team sat back, quite passive, I thought, and for large spells really poor, we didn't have that killer edge that would have made it very, very comfortable. And I think would have gone on to get 4 or 5 again if we'd have got the second. We didn't, and we got punished. Paul
Warne talked there about it being a microcosm of the season, and it was, in the sense of the details in both boxes, not for the first time, are ultimately what's cost Derby 2 points today.
Yeah, and for a long time we've struggled with set pieces in terms of an attacking sense, and we created numerous chances, especially with balls towards the front post, which is obviously where we scored the goals. That will please Paul extremely. And that one moment we switched off, we got punished. We weren't tight enough on the counter. It was in the corner. I think it was Mendes Lang and Smith. Between the two of them, they didn't communicate, didn't deal with the ball, and they had one chance in the game, and they took it. We looked to threat every ball that went in from set pieces. Again, we just couldn't get that second ball. So frustrating, disappointing. Yes, a positive performance, but we're looking for 3 points at the moment, especially at home.
I'll ask you about that very, very young back three. I mean, I can't remember a younger defensive line for Derby or covering a game with a fresher-faced back line than that. I mean, would you be comfortable sending those three out again after today's performance?
I thought they were excellent. I thought Rooney was steady along all the way through. I thought Roberts was excellent in the second half. Cash was steady as he always is, so no problem whatsoever. It was just, again, the killer touch in that final third in and around the penalty box. So I thought the back three were excellent. I thought Harahan, for the spell that he was on, we saw more, I thought, fight. How many tackles did he win in midfield? How aggressive was he? Which is not something we particularly know about him. We know he's a good footballer, but so many positives. And that's why you're leaving even more frustrated and even more disappointed.
Let's get some more reaction from the Derby camp. We can hear from the captain today, David McGoldrick.
Pretty similar to other weeks. Good in the first half. Not as good in the second half. Still created chances. First half should have scored a few more goals. You know, been 2-3-0 up even. I think the stats say we've had loads of shots. So yeah, it's disappointing. Where that's been a bit of a theme for the past couple home games.
Something like 25 shots to 3. It was just that second goal that you couldn't find.
Yeah, we just needed that second goal. Sorry, you know, just to calm the nerves. We knew that second half they were going to come out a bit more than it did the first half. They could have been. With respect, as bad as the performance, I thought we knew they had more in them with the players they've got, so they would have come out, and we knew that. But yeah, it's just the story how it's going. You know, they broke, and one of them shots have gone in.
What's the mood like in the dressing room at full time? Because there was nothing wrong with the performance today.
Yeah, it's down. You know, performance-wise, yeah, it was all right. We, you know, created plenty of chances. That's what we need to do. But you know, points matter at this stage of the season. You know, you're automatically looking at the games around you and who's won and whatever, that our teams will be with us, but it's still there. You know, it's still going to go down to the wire, but we're confident. You know, we've got 5 games left, 3 at home, so we've just got to take advantage of that.
Yeah, you would think 4 points from 2 games over Easter would put you in decent standing, but the standard seems to be so high toward the top of the table that you're going to have to find more.
Yeah, the top 8 teams, you know, they're all good teams. You know, I think they're all at home today, maybe as well. You know, there's a few surprise performances at the top, like we've obviously Plymouth losing, but that's going to be that. It's going to be like that till the end of the season, to the last game. So we've got to concentrate on ourselves. You know, I'm sure if we win every game from now to the end, then we'll be fine. So we just got to get as many points as possible. Another
goal for you. You're getting closer to the 20 league goal mark.
Yeah, I haven't even thought. I'm normally a man that thinks about goals. I haven't even thought about goals today. You know, overall performance went good by myself. Could have nicked it at the end with the header. But yeah, it's good to get goals, but I haven't even thought about that, to be fair.
Is there still belief in that room that you can do this and get that playoff place?
100%. You know, there's no thinking it's over or anything like that. We know what we're capable of. I think we had a dip in form, and I think we're coming out of it. And we just got to be more clinical. I'm sure we'll work on that in a week like we have been. And 100%, we know we're all thinking that we can and get in them playoff spots. We've just got, it's in our hands. You know, we win the games and then we're in there. If we don't, then we've got to look at ourselves. But there's total belief with the players we've got, the manager, the coaching staff. We've got the things to work on that we can do it.
It's Derby's goal scorer today, David McGoldrick. Results from League One this afternoon, everyone in action. Plenty of interesting results in the promotion races. Barnsley back to winning ways. Both they and Shrewsbury had a man sent off. Bolton pegged back by a 95th minute equaliser by Cambridge. That does Derby a big favour. Ipswich finally conceded a goal and failed to win. They were held by Cheltenham. That changes things at the top once again. A victory for Peterborough, victory for Sheffield Wednesday as well, finally back to winning ways, and for Wickham. Surprise of the day though came at Home Park, where Plymouth lost at home to Lincoln. Plymouth have been brilliant at home all season, but defeat for them today. They managed to stay second in the table though after Ipswich failed to win, so Sheffield Wednesday go back to the top of the standings. Barnsley will consider themselves still right in the mix for the top 2. Peterborough up to 5th, Bolton dropped to 6th, Derby stay 7th and outside the playoff places on goal difference alone, but Wickham have trimmed the gap once more. Massive point today for MK Dons in the draw at Derby. They're now 4 clear of the relegation zone. That sort of negates the game in hand that Accrington, Cambridge and Morecambe have on them. Yeah, another frustrating day for Derby then. If you want more reaction to today's game, it'll be on the website for you, dcfc.co.uk. We're back next Saturday. Do join us then if you can. Goodbye.